Well, hello everyone and good morning. Welcome to Wow Wednesday. I am your host, Nancy Matthews, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network, and we bring you this midweek boost of motivation, education, and inspiration every single Wednesday morning. Why do we do this? I got really tired of hearing people say, oh, it's hump day. I can't wait for the weekend. No, every day has the potential to be a wow day when you choose that, when you set your intentions. So I trust that every single one of you tuning in right now, whether you're watching live or watching the replay, you choose to make this a wow day. And this is all part of living a wow experience in life. And I have today, as you'll notice, two guests with me, MarBeth Dunn and Teri Angel, and we're going to be talking about their movement and their mission about creating world peace. And I know if you're part of our community, that that's something you want to be a part of and contribute to. And I know that you're going to enjoy how easy it is for you to share your spark to bring more light and love to the world at the helm of with MarBeth and Teri Angel at the helm. I'll bring them on in just a moment, but first let me share a couple of Women's Prosperity Network updates and announcements. So first of all, kudos to everyone who joined us yesterday for our members only session, the coaching and connection corner. And I know that collaborations were created, relationships were developed and blossomed. So kudos to all of you for showing up for that. We've also got in 2 weeks our networking with a twist, and then our weekly, monthly mastermind. So be sure to visit womensprosperityNetwork.com. Go to the events page and you'll see all of the great opportunities we've created for you to come together and connect with extraordinary women making a difference in the world. So visit our website, join us for the next event, because we want your spark to show up and people are waiting for you within our community. And talking about showing up, that's what we're going to be speaking about today with our guests. So let me share a little bit about the background of MarBeth and Teri Angel, and then we will dive right in. So first of all, MarBeth Dunn is the co-founder and co-director of 10 Million for World Peace, which is a nonprofit corporation conducting a 21-day World Peace Meditation Challenge. So I can't wait to learn how we can be a part of that. Their goal is to gather 10 million people together for 21 days of 7-minute meditations for world peace. It has a special focus on world leaders to lead our planet into peace and harmony with greater awareness and integrity. MarBeth is also the award-winning creator of the World Miracle Peace Experiment, which correlated, get a load of this, correlated with a 20% drop in Middle East violence in 2018. We can be the change. There's evidence to support it. She is a spiritual teacher for over 35 years. She's been featured on several networks, including Fox, NBC, CBS, and the CW. You can learn more about her work and Teri Angel's work with this nonprofit at 10millionforworldpeace.org. And now let me introduce you to Teri Angel, who is the founder of Angel Speakers, Inc., whose mission is to educate on peace and environmental issues. She has traveled the country, the U.S., extensively over the last few years, speaking and holding ceremonies to open up the land to more cohesiveness in communities. She is a certified happiness life coach, a death doula, a business coach, best-selling author, spiritual teacher, and mentor. She became a peace ambassador in 2014 with the Global Peace and Prosperity Initiative. We are blessed and grateful to have you both with us today. Welcome.
Thank you.
So let me start off by asking, how did the two of you come together to create this initiative, this 10 million for world peace? So MarBeth, kick us off.
Teri has a podcast, called the Pea Podcast, since we're all peas in a pod. And and this is Mama Peas. And I was a guest on her show, I guess in early February. And she had another guest who was a former diplomat from Australia who's working for nuclear disarmament. And Teri said, tell her about your peace experiment. So I did. And she said, well, that's really great. You need to do it again, but focus on world leaders. And Teri and I looked at each other, got goosebumps, and here we are.
I just love that when we get out and just do the work we're here to do, magical opportunities show up. And that's part of being in the flow. And that's part of what all of us as leaders, and by the way, we're all leaders, what we can do to contribute to the betterment of the world and of humanity. So I love it. I love it. Thank you. Teri, what would you like to add to that piece?
Well, I've known MarBeth for a few years now, and I did work with her when she did her experiment. So I was very familiar with what had happened at that point and the drop in the numbers as we saw. And so when that hit us that day, it was just magical. We both knew in that instant that this was big and that we were going to do this together. And it's just been so magical. That's the only word I can use for it, because everything is flowing, like you said, Nancy. When it's right, when you're in alignment with your passion and with your mission, it is going to flow. And there's no resistance. We just keep every day pinching ourselves that this is really happening now.
Yeah. So let's talk about, I have many questions. So the first thing that comes up for me is creating world peace, 10 million for world peace with a 7-minute meditation. How does that work to really create lasting change and transformation? What's the science behind it?
Well, it's an ancient story that when minds are joined, when two or more gather together, miracles happen. But that has also been shown in experiments with Lynn McTaggart, who has led experiments in the field. I call it the field of love and peace and miracles. But we're all energy. We're not physical form. Mm-hmm. We are physical form, but there's a much larger part of us that is energy, which is spirit. And this part of us can merge with others in this unified field of consciousness. And this has also been shown in experiments by Dr. John Hagelin, who leads the Transcendental Meditation movement. He started out doing experiments around the country, brought people, transcendental meditators, and they also do an exercise in flying. Yeah. Well, okay. It's not exactly flying, but they kind of jump, in their meditation. And he brought these meditators like to Washington, D.C. And he's a renowned physicist. So he wanted to set up all of the parameters, what could also account for a drop. So what he did is he checked with the police reports, he checked with the weather, he did all of these different metrics. And then he brought these meditators to Washington, D.C., and they physically sat there and meditated for days. And during the period of this experiment, level of violence dropped over 20%. Now they were there physically. And I looked at Lynn McTaggart's work and I just knew, we don't have to be there physically because all minds are joined. So if we can guide people, which we do, in a meditation, leading them first into a place of love and gratitude to really elevate their frequency, and then bring them into this field of love and peace and miracles. And first of all, send everybody love, because when you do, you receive it. Giving and receiving are the same. It's a spiritual law. And so we would bring people into this field and then focus on our planet, put it like in the center, like it's we're circling it, and focusing on seeing everyone just engulfed in love and peace and feeling happy. And then what we did in the 2018 experiment is we focused on the Middle East. And because I knew we could get independent statistics, I checked it out online. We had independent statistics from the ACLED, and it showed that, yes, these are the statistics. And they didn't know me from Eve or Adam.
I love
But the statistics were there. And, I don't know what other factors may have factored in because, I'm not a physicist, but I do know that the level dropped significantly. And so, I know, can you imagine 10 million people with this intention? This is more of almost an intention experiment, because what we're doing, people hear meditation, they think, oh, it's very passive. You just sit there and you don't do anything. But this is really more like an intention experiment where we will focus all together, 10 million people focusing together on our planet and on our world leaders.
Yes.
So the power of that.
And I'm getting goosebumps like the two of you did when you started this. And I want everybody to recall this experience that I'm about to share. So you walk into a room or you walk into somebody's house and people are arguing, or they just had an argument and there's silence. You can feel that energy when you walk in the room. You can also feel, conversely, when you walk into a room and people are happy and loving and like we can feel the energy. The evidence is there and we've all experienced it. So as you're sharing this beautiful experience, experiment, and initiative, 10 million people amplifying that energy, the ripple effect has got to be extraordinary. Yeah.
Do you want to share, Teri, about Father Sean O'Leary?
Yeah, I'll leave that one to you, if that's okay. I think you're more familiar with his work. I would like to share that, we talk about this, about meditation affecting others and our energies all being interacting. But, it's scientific now. Science has come so far in merging with what we already knew. And one of the things that I love is that there are those organizations that are tracking evidence of how we impact each other with our energy. And one of those is HeartMath Institute in California, who's been tracking the energy of our planet for years. And when I learned about the heart-brain coherence, which is a method of meditation where we connect our heart and our brain and then we send that energy forth, it was interesting to hear how HeartMath has been measuring this. And they actually showed some of the statistics. They showed it in a graph form of what happens when there is a major event and all of our hearts are just poured out in compassion across the globe. And they showed us the graph for 911.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. And the graph was off the chart with, that level of energy increasing across the world. So I look at it and I say it's like this collective soup of all of our consciousness, all of our energy that we're pouring forth. And I used to ask, what does it matter if what I'm doing, I'm just one person? What does it matter if I'm angry or if I'm happy? It's just me, right? And then I learned this information that whatever we're doing, whatever our energy is putting forth, it goes into that collective soup. So all of us, each person is either raising the vibration or we're lowering it, whatever we're experiencing and what we're bringing forth in our energy. So if we can do an intentional energy and say, today I'm going to raise my vibration as high as I can raise it and focus that on a specific country or a group like we are doing, like with our world leaders, our national leaders, our local governments, then look at the possibilities of what happens with that energy being raised.
I love how you bringing being 100% responsible to a whole new light, that whatever my energy is impacting the collective field, right? And you say, oh, it doesn't really matter. Well, if you had a cup of soup, a big pot of soup, and somebody put arsenic in it, you wouldn't eat the soup. Oh, it's just a drop. It's still poison. So let's remember that we are contributing all of it in that way. And whether, we can see the immediate impact of what our energy is and how we're feeling and our attitude in our family environment and our circle of friends. And that ripple goes out, right? So I love this aspect of remembering how significant we all really are. Beautiful. Thank you, Teri. MarBeth, you had Mr. O'Leary, or was that the Mrs.
Father Sean O'Leary.
Okay, it was like, was this about the cow in Chicago? Probably not, but okay.
I remember
that. Brought to my attention. I haven't met him yet, but he came up. He's in addition to being a priest, he's also a mathematician, and he discovered that, or he let us know that if I get 10 people to commit to join our challenge on September 1st, and each one of those 10 people gets 10 people to commit to our challenge, in the end of, I think he said 8 iterations, we would be at 10 million. I haven't actually calculated that.
Okay.
But that's doable. And he said we could do that in about 3 weeks. So
that's how this challenge came up. Okay. Yeah. So here's the invitation. And you're going to let us know how this works in a moment. So I'm committing to this daily 7-minute meditation. It starts on September 1st. And I will also commit to invite 10 people. So I got 30 something on here right now that are live with us, and then hundreds more. So do me a favor in the chat, if you're with us on Zoom or if you're with us on Facebook, will you be part of this movement for world peace? The request is 7 minutes for 21 days in a guided meditation. So in the chat or on Facebook, count me in is what I want you to write, and then we'll let you know how you can sign up. But we talk about being the change we want to see in the world, and this is where it begins, being responsible for our own energy and what we're bringing, and then contributing to this massive movement, this collective piece of it. I love it. I love it. So we're getting lots of people saying, I'm in. How does it work? What are we actually going to do so that I can, I'm a big fan of scheduling things. So I have to schedule in.
Okay. So here's how it works. You join us at 10millionforworldpeace.org. You sign up. We have a brand new updated website, thanks to your wonderful critique, Nancy.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so much better. And I don't know if all the updates are in effect yet. When you join, you will receive a meditation, a 15-minute meditation by Teri that was not up yesterday. I don't know if it's fixed yet today, but even so, you join, you will get it. You will get it. And so you'll be part of our, get a newsletter and be part of our community. Every Sunday right now at 1:11 Eastern, we are having a world peace meditation. It takes about 20 minutes of your time. We do a 7-minute meditation in there and give you some updates. And then on September 1st, we are going to be doing it daily. at 111. And I'll be leading the first one. Teri will be leading the second. We have other guest meditators. We have interviews with peace leaders, really amazing people. And it's just so exciting to really make a difference on this planet.
In such a simple way. We have a choice of how we want to create change. And I'm reminded of David Hawkins' work with power versus force. Of course, you're both familiar with that, I would imagine, right? Yeah. So the difference between power, which is sourced from within and in this collective field that we've been talking about, that's powerful. Think Gandhi, think Nelson Mandela. Like, that's how they created change. Or with your fists, that's force. So this is a movement, a powerful movement where we can create the change, be the change we want to see in the world. And I believe that every human being really does want more peace and love. They just don't know how to get there. And they think that they have to fight. Well, what a beautiful opportunity to learn an alternate way. So I love that everybody's saying, count me in, count me in. Go to 10 million for worldpeace.org and share it. If every one of us got 10 people to do this, imagine the change that would take place. Imagine how elections will be different. Imagine our schools being safer. This is what we're working towards, my friends. How it impacts us in our daily lives.
Interestingly, I was living in Parkland about 5 blocks from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas when that massacre happened. And I'm very empathic, so I immediately started sending love and peace to the school. And what hit me was when they came back to school, all of a sudden I couldn't breathe. It was so intense. Because I was so empathic. But this peace experiment, I was guided within 2 months of that experience to do the peace experiment.
Well, that's real. That's when you did it? Wow. I didn't know that.
I didn't know it until I just put the 2 and 2 together this year. And it was like,
and so one of the things that, as we talk about us being responsible for the energy that we're bringing, is if I was to look at the news and the world reports and tune into all of that, it can feel very heavy. How do we keep ourselves lifted and in a space of love when it appears that things are not so good? Who wants to share on that?
I'd love to share on that because it's what I strive every day to, as soon as I wake up, start raising my own frequency. So I wake up with gratitude. It's the first thing I do. Thank you, God, for another day alive. Thank you for an opportunity to make an impact or at least influence one person today that I'm going to touch with my words, with a hug, with any way that I can. So I had heard a question a couple of years ago, how we talked about what we do, our energy affects other people's energy, and how we all can come together over an event, whether it's a school shooting, 911, any type of huge event that we hear about worldwide. What if we could raise that frequency the way we do it those times without a catastrophic event? What if every day each person commits, just like you all are committing right now to joining us? What if you commit every day to sending that vibration out from you, no matter what's going on in the world? And there may be catastrophic events, there are every day, but what if we make that conscious choice every day to our vibration be the best it can be? And yeah, there's going to be times when you get hit. There's going to be the arguments. There's going to be things that happen, struggles, physical problems, emotional problems. But if you've already committed and set your intention at the very beginning of the day, that sets the tone for your day. And you can always go back to that in your heart and say, oh, today I'm raising the vibration. So no matter what happens.
And I find for myself that when I have set an intention, it's kind of like I put on like a raincoat to protect me. So I might still get wet, but I don't get soaked with it, right? So that's where the intentions and choosing the good attitude, like, let's put that on and get out into the world. Like it's better for me when I do that. My experience is better. So, because we all can relate to, if I'm stressed out, irritated, angry, one little thing, it's a million times worse, right? If I'm already in a stressed out space, as opposed to being on the other side of it. Love that. Thank you, Teri Angel.
I want to say also that it's not a good idea to start with the news. Start your day watching the news or listening.
I've done that a long time.
We don't do that. But I have a dear friend in Haiti. I used to live in Haiti. I lived there for 17 years. And I have a very dear friend. We go back like over 35 years together. And she has stayed in Haiti despite all of the turbulence. She built an amazing school out away from the gangs. It's out in the countryside, just graduated 25 nurses. It was like televised on Haitian TV. It would look like a normal graduation. And it was just amazing. She has a hospital in the Port-au-Prince area. She lives above the Port-au-Prince area. She has had her bag packed with her passport for years now, just ready to go at a drop of a hat. It's not safe. People are being kidnapped there. The U.S. government just said, nope, no more Americans here. And she is still there. And, she was just here a couple of weeks ago. We had lunch together and she said, I said, how do you do it? How do you do it in this place with this incredible energy? And she said, I play Psalms all day long to uplift me. She said, I just don't allow my thoughts to go there. And can you imagine the inner fortitude that takes to stay in that?
Wow.
Dedication? She's amazing. She's like Mother Teresa. She's just an amazing woman.
And what you're giving us with this 21-day world peace experiment is the opportunity to learn how to build that muscle for ourselves in just 7 minutes, right? Because I don't have time to meditate. No, that's the first thing we should make time for, right? But the busy mind gets in the way.
Yes.
The busy mind can get in the way. So starting September 1st for those 21 days, and I believe September 21st might even be like World Gratitude Day or something. Doesn't that all tie together? World Peace Day. There might have been a plan there, I think.
Yeah,
that is beautiful, beautiful. So in terms of my commitment, so I need to be available at that same exact time every single day. So keep my schedule clear for that 15, 20 minutes.
You can. It's best to do it live, but we will have a replay, just like you have a replay for your Wow Wednesdays. We'll have a replay and we'll set the intention. The energy is still there.
Yeah.
In the meditation. So you're just adding your energy to it. If you can't catch it live, catch it afterwards.
Yeah, catch it. But catch it.
Catch it.
This is something you want to catch.
and many opportunities for you to catch it on the replay and live, because we not only stream on Facebook, we stream on YouTube simultaneously. So it'll be in those places. If you don't like YouTube, you don't like Facebook, you just switch to the other one.
Yeah.
Love it. So good. So good. All right. Go ahead.
I just want to say that there's so many benefits to joining. It's not just, that I'm going to go and I'm going to participate in this experiment. You are going to get some amazing benefits from it. People in the last experiment, they were just saying how much better they felt, that they felt more peaceful, that conflicts just resolved so easily. And just imagine, when we give to other people, we receive the benefits. That's that spiritual law. Giving and receiving are the same. So you feel so good when you give to other people. Yeah, you're giving, and you're receiving.
I want a t-shirt. Do you have t-shirts yet? I can just see 10 for worldpeace.org. Do we have t-shirts yet?
Not yet.
All right.
I think
we need a sponsor for t-shirts.
There you go. I'm going to reach out to my friend Varsha.
Oh, Varsha, yes.
Of course, Varsha. Or I see Vismaya is here, and she is living in gratitude today. So maybe there could be a little partnership between the two of you, because she has great t-shirt supplier.
We would love that.
So let's spread the word. That's what this is about. 10 million for worldpeace.org. Go there, sign up, and share it with your communities. Imagine the world that is uplifted through love. Like just hold for a moment and really sink into that. What will we be celebrating in September and October, November, and the holidays? Like, wouldn't it be amazing for us to be sitting with our families and rejoicing in how the world has transformed because of this work? That's the possibility. That's the intention that we're heading into. So join us for this 10 million for worldpeace.org, fully spelled out, TEN. And we need you. We need your light, your love to be a part of this. So let's open up for questions and comments. Teri, I feel like there's something you want to share while I get everybody ready. Am I correct?
Yeah. You were talking about the benefits and what we get from it. And, not that we're going to say, I'm going into this so that I can benefit from it, but let's look at it as it's going to change me. And by changing me, I am changing the planet. Mm-hmm. I'm changing energy. And I have been on a mission for 3 years now, traveling the country. You mentioned that earlier. And I talk to people about peace. That's what I do. It's called the Peace on Earth Tour. And as I talk to people, I try to educate them. And just that very thing, you're going to benefit from it, but just look at what you're giving and look at what other people are benefiting from as well. It does change us when we do a benevolent act. It changes our whole energy field and lifts us up higher. And so can you imagine being on that high energy for 21 days in a row? And it's going to be life-changing. That's my thought, and my belief is that we are all going to change together and create a shift together.
Yeah. Thank you, Teri. Let's open up. I'd love to hear some comments, some ahas, some commitments. Just count me in. Speak, share your voice today and say, I'm in, and I will share it. So hit *6 if you're on your phone. If you're on the computer, you can just unmute and raise your hand. Let's start right now, raising our voices for peace and for love. So I see a few people in queue. Let's go to Rita Thomas.
Well, good morning again, and thank you for having me on the call. I have to tell you, ladies, that this feels so empowering to me. I'm going to get emotional. I'm a veteran, and it's so hard for me to see the wars going on and the conflict and the strife, and to know that I can do something myself in 15 minutes a day. And I mean, I'm looking for this whole thing with Ukraine to be over by the time we're done with this, or to be massively scaled down to the point where it's an argument. So I just can't thank you enough for bringing this message today and for taking the challenge of uniting so many people at the same time in the same cause, and what a great cause it is.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rita. And thank you for your service. Thank you for being a stand for peace. And that's what I'm hearing from you is like, you can actually see the peace coming and how you can contribute to it. And that's another way of your service, right? You get to be in service in a new way.
Yes, absolutely. It's very, very uplifting because even after you get out of the military, you don't give up that patriotic or that strive and drive to help everyone in the world.
That's awesome.
And
Thank you.
can I just say to that, Rita, thank you, first of all. Thank you for joining with us. But as we set the intention together for making this influence with our world leaders, you can also hold in your heart while we're doing meditation any specific leader or person that you want to send that energy forward to. So definitely, if you'd like to see that drop in the conflict in a certain place, such as Ukraine, then set that intention. Intentions are powerful.
Yeah, she knows it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, Rita. All right. So do join us. Go to 10millionforworldpeace.org. And let's go ahead and take some of our other callers. Phone number 847-630. Good morning. Your line is open.
Good morning, Nancy. It's Lynn Sanders here, and I'm so excited to listen to this wonderful, amazing podcast by your guest, MarBeth. I am so excited that I just immediately signed up for your challenge, and I'm happy to share it with others. I want to compliment you for putting all these pieces together of solving a problem that the world is facing, that we're all facing upheaval and trauma, and you're putting out a process where we all can participate in a solution. My company, Difference Makers Media, is all about making a positive difference and helping those who are really passionate about changing the world in a positive way do so through their stories. And yet I really love what you've done. Is about a year or two ago, I read Lynn McTaggart's book on the power of 8, and I used that to do my best to help a very dear friend who was dying from ALS. And she did eventually pass away. We were trying with, our group. I got a whole group together praying for her. But, we can only do what we could do. And yet what you're doing is a step, I think, even further, inviting the world to participate in world peace. So I just want to thank you. I also feel emotional like Rita, because I know that we are all affected on a subtle level by all the violence around us. It's just bombarding us, and you're offering a solution. So I'm excited to share what you're doing with others and help you make a bigger difference. I want to thank you again.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lynn. You are the difference maker. And
thank you.
Yeah, you're doing some amazing work. And isn't your project in Haiti?
No, I'm working on a children's book that involves our family's healthcare mission in Ecuador, helping thousands of kids who had no healthcare. And beyond that, the nonprofit Causes for Change is helping those with disabilities in the United States get accessibility inclusion. So it's both, all over.
I want to just take a moment wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the work that you're doing to contribute to more peace and love. And so I honor you for the difference you're already making as well.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be a part of this movement with your organization too, Nancy. Thank you.
You are most welcome.
Keep it up.
Well, we're going to keep it up.
Yes.
All right, let me go. Michelle Maddox, I saw that you had your hand up, so we'd love to hear from you, Michelle.
Good morning. Good morning. You're talking my talk. I love this whole focus, this whole spirit of believing in the power of individuals to change the world. Our energy blends with other positive energy, and it lifts all of us up together. And I really believe in that. I was going to mention Lynn McTaggart's book, The Power of 8. So my hand went up before I heard Lynn mention that. The idea that has been so beautifully demonstrated in that book, that the concentration of energy from loving, compassionate people who are intentionally focusing all that they have in their spirits toward healing is such an empowering idea, and so needed right now. It's so needed. We have to change the way we think. We cannot look to external forces to save all of us and to be the source of power that we depend on. We have to look inward. We have to draw from our own, from who we are, from the love and the compassion and the power within the spirits that make up who we are. So I love that idea, and I'm all in. I came in late, so I didn't hear the beginning, but I love what I'm hearing. And I just wanted to co-sign in what Lynn said.
I love it. I need to get this book. I haven't read it yet. Oh my goodness.
Yes, the power
Awesome.
of debate. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And again, Michelle is up to some amazing work around the world with skills training and uplifting. And it's just an honor to have you in our community with who you are, my friend Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
And you
so
too,
good.
my goodness, you inspire me. You make me think I could actually pull off some of this stuff. It comes
No,
from you.
I remember our conversation last week. I know you can.
Thank you.
Oh, so good. All right. Again, go to 10millionforworldpeace.org. Register to join the movement and the 7-minute meditation for 21 days starting September 1st, and invite 10 people. Like, that's the second part that we can do, is contribute by sharing this love, this gift you're actually going to be giving to those 10 people. So do that. All right, let me go to our next caller. Peg Duchesne is in the house.
Good morning. Good morning. Teri and MarBeth, great to meet you. Thanks for the great work that you're doing. I'm just reminded this morning of a really magnificent quote that I love by Margaret Mead. She says, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." So thank you for being that group of thoughtful, committed citizens to this great challenge. I have put the quote in the chat, and I signed up and will be participating every day, September 1 to 21. And it's just a brilliant strategy. So thanks for bringing it to the WPN community.
Thank you.
Thanks for making it a Wow Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, right, my friend?
Every Wednesday, that's right.
Awesome. So thank you, Peg, for who you are, how you show up, and the messages that you share so powerfully, including the quote today. So thank you for that.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we have time for one or two more callers. I see area code 404644 is on the line. Would you like to share something?
Yes, I would. Hi, Nancy. This is Angela Nelson.
Hey there. How you been?
Hello. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am happy and grateful to hear your beautiful voice today.
Thank you so much. I am happy and grateful every Wow Wednesday, and today is just so amazing and so aligned. I want to thank you for bringing this in, because we need this at this time in the world. We need this more than I think anything else. Mm-hmm. And just going through your Receive Your Riches program, I'm thinking about the power of thought, the power of words, and listening to this today. I came in a little bit later as well. Thoughts together and meditating together is so powerful, and I am in. Please count me in, count me in, count me in. And I'm going to spread the word far and wide. And somebody mentioned something about a book with the number 8 in it, and it made me think of our good friend Denise Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
Denise is the best-selling author of Made to Thrive: 8 Courageous Practices to Improve Your Life, find inner peace and be happy.
Mm. Yes,
And
yes,
as
yes.
a retired firefighter, she is on a mission to end violence and co-create peace in our world. And I definitely want to connect you guys because I think this is just so in alignment, and I just love this.
Yeah.
And I'm honored because Denise and I have an event coming up August 10th, and so I'll make sure to put that as well, a link in the WPN group.
Fantastic. So let Denise know to tune into this, because she also has
Yes.
a podcast, and there's a lot of synergy between the work these two organizations are doing. Fun.
Absolutely.
I love it. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being the change and all you're doing
Thank you.
to contribute to more peace and love on the planet.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
All right. I'll make it a wow day. It's been a wow morning, right?
It has been. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. Let me go probably one more caller. And again, I want to encourage everyone, go to 10 million for worldpeace.org. And I'm suspecting you'll soon see t-shirts on there.
I love it.
I'm thinking that'll happen. All right. Hi, good morning. Your line is open, 850-245.
Oh, hello. This is Joy.
Hello, Joy. Did you want to share something, or were you just accidentally
Yeah,
unmuted?
no, I did.
Okay.
First of all, I wanted to say that I was in the Army Reserves myself for 6 years, and as far as locally, there have been changes in some gun laws here, and that recently I have two friends that just lost. One lost a 22-year-old nephew, and the other one a 25-year-old a son to gun violence.
Mm.
So that's one thing I wanted to say. The other one I wanted to say, which is a personal thing, is that I'm now in the process of writing my memoir, and it's dealing with closed adoption and how I was adopted into a family of abuse, as well as generational hatred for those in the family that can't pass as white. And on top of that, I have a famous author, Trice Hickman, who is interested in writing my story. So we're going to work together starting the third quarter of 2024. So my goal is also to get peace out there in families and bringing people together in love. So this was an excellent call for me.
Good. And thank you for speaking up for the inequities and the injustices that you experienced, so that other people can heal and be saved. So it takes courage and strength. So I honor you for what you're doing.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So much available to us to contribute to more love in the world. And for everyone listening in, whatever your passion is, your mission is, do it from this place of love and healing and making a positive difference and a positive impact. And as I believe John F. Kennedy said, a rising tide lifts all boats. So let's all be part of that rising tide to lift everyone up. MarBeth, Teri, thank you for being with us. Thank you for what you're doing from this place of love to make it easy for us to be the change, because that's what you're doing. Like you said, oh, I wish I could make a difference. Well, now we can, and we got an easy path to do so. So thank you for all you're doing to make it possible for us to contribute to 10 million for world peace. Let me get a final thought or insight to share. Let's start with Teri, and then we'll go to MarBeth.
Final thought would be for all of us to every day remember who you are, remember your magnificence. If you stay in your heart, then you'll remember. It's when we go out of our heart and start that stinking thinking sometimes and focusing on something outside of ourselves that's not going right. That's when we start getting into the chaos and the confusion. But if we go back into the heart, it's so simple. Just take that breath in and remember who you are, and then you will shine. Thank you so much for having us here today.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that. Remember who you are and go into your heart. MarBeth.
Thank you. Thank you, Nancy, for having us. I just wanted to share something, which I thought it's a little bit of a segue, but I thought it was really fascinating. We all heard of Nostradamus and his dire predictions, but did you know that he came back through a woman named Dolores Cannon, who did past life regressions? She was working with a client back in the 80s, and the client had been a student of Nostradamus. And so she regressed this person back into that lifetime. And over the course of working with her, she was back in Nostradamus's studio. And all of a sudden, Nostradamus walked in and said, "I want to talk to her." So here he was in real life time in the 1500s communicating with this woman in the 20th century. She's no longer with us. And over the course of 3 years, working through different clients, he came through and said, my predictions were misinterpreted. And so he needed to straighten that out. And then he said, as dire as my predictions are, I see that peace is possible. He said that if we made it through the 90s, that in the 2000s, minds could be joined together for and to create 1,000 years of peace. Oh God, 1,000 years of peace. We can be the beginning of that.
We can be that. We are the beginning.
We are.
Let's claim it. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. 1,000 years of peace. We get to be the beginning of it. So join us. 10 million for worldpeace.org. I will see you there. Spread the word. If you're listening in and you have a podcast or a stage or anything to invite these amazing women to, so that we can increase the vibration, increase the amplification of peace and love, reach out to them. So MarBeth, what's your email address?
MarBeth at 10 million for worldpeace.org.
Easy peasy. And then Teri at 10 million for worldpeace.org.
No, mine is Teri at angelspeakers.com.
Angelspeakers.com. All right. Reach out, be part of the movement. Thank you all for joining us. This is a Wow Wednesday. Make sure you keep it going. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Bye now.
Bye, Nancy. Thank you.